Welcome to the Fence and Deck Mastery Podcast, where we discuss cutting-edge techniques, industry trends, and business insights to take your fence or deck company to the next level and dominate your competition. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fence and Deck Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Danner, and also the founder of Fence and Deck Marketers, which is a digital marketing agency that works only with fencing and decking companies. Have another great episode for you today that I'm excited about. This is actually somebody that met from a mutual friend, and somebody that actually just recently met in person about, I guess, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. But this is Lance Roach from Black Label Built in Nebraska. Lance, appreciate you coming on the podcast with me. How's it going, man?
Good, Alex, man. Nice to see you again. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was saying, Lance joined the group that it's actually a group with Chris Breen over at Legacy Decks. And I think Lance joined several months ago. I feel like I'm terrible with time always, but something like that.
January, yeah, about 7 months ago for sure.
Was it really that? Okay, yeah. So, and then, Lance was part of the group for a while, and then we had the whole annual get together. So we were able to hang out there and live the good life at that giant lake house for a couple of days. But Lance is an awesome guy. Had a lot of fun getting to know him, and was texting back and forth, seeing if he wanted to go on the podcast, and he said he would. So here we are, and he's at a real successful company out in Nebraska that we're going to learn a lot about, and I'll let him do that and go through it, so I don't butcher it. But Lance, if you could, just to kind of start things off, though, just tell us a little bit about your story. Everything leading up to maybe the point when you created Black Label Built, kind of maybe your history in the outdoor living, things like that.
Sure, man. I'll do my best here. So I guess before Black Label, I out of high school, I got into framing. My brother was a framer, and basically picked up a hammer and kind of had a knack for it. I was really good, could see things really well. Got a lot of compliments on the work that we did, and it was just really fun. So shortly after that, I actually started my own company doing siding, windows, roofing, all exteriors is what we did, and we started then doing decks later on down the road. I had that company for about 18 years. I sold it in 2018 because I had a competitor reach out to me that wanted to do roofing and siding, and we were heavy into that. And so I sold that to them, but they didn't want anything to do with our outdoor spaces, our outdoor structures, and that's something that I was really passionate about and what I loved doing. So we had a need, so sold the company, started Black Label right away because we had a handful of people that were still on our client list, and we didn't want to leave them high and dry. So we continued to do the work with them under the Black Label name, and then didn't really know where it was going to go. Didn't really have a plan. 2 years into it, we were still kind of trucking along, and things were going really, really well. We were getting a really good reputation. The guys were very happy with the work we were doing, the clients we were working with. So we decided to kind of really go all in about 2, 3 years ago to start growing the company and see what we could actually do with it and really make a name for ourselves. And that's kind of where we are today. As you mentioned earlier, we joined the academy, or I joined the academy with Legacy Academy about 8 months ago, and that's been a really huge benefit to our company, helping us grow, helping us set us apart from everybody else, offer a higher level of service, and that's kind of what we're all about. Is like a high level experience is what we're trying to strive for every day for our clients, and then that brings us to kind of today and where we're at with the growing company and wanting to grow even more and being on podcasts with people like you.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It worked out like that, where you sold the company, they didn't want outdoor living type stuff, and that's what you wanted. That's kind of one of those things, just happens for a reason, it sounds like.
Right. Yeah. It was weird, man. It literally came out of nowhere. They approached me blindly one day. I'll actually never forget that. Called me on a Friday, and I was actually really frustrated because I was working late on a Friday. And Terry Neiman was his name, and Terry said, "Hey, Lance, just don't forget, if you ever want to sell your company, I would be interested in buying it." And we started a conversation from there, and that's how it happened. So
I wonder if
it
he
does
timed
have.
that. I wonder if that's the best time to contact somebody sell their business Friday.
Right,
Friday.
Friday afternoon when
Yeah.
they're getting materials ready for the next job. And yeah, it had a long week and it was just
Yeah.
one of those deals, man.
Might
Once
be
in
in
a
the
lifetime type deal.
playbook. Yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. So you, okay, so you sold it, I think you said 2018 and then
Correct.
started, okay, Black Label built from there. Okay. And then, yeah, if you could just, you touched on a little bit, but I mean, what exact, services and outdoor living, kind of the different things you do now, be great to know.
Yeah, right. So we're really big into decks and patio covers and pergolas. Those are kind of our three bread and butter things that we've always done from day one. We've started now getting more into the whole outdoor living scene. So outdoor kitchens, um, patios, fire pits, things like that. We're looking to potentially get into pools as well. That's going to be a little bit down the road, but ideally, it's the passion is about getting outdoors, right? Being outside. I'm a big outdoors guy. I love my outdoor spaces. I love being outside more than I love being inside. And there, I feel a lot of other people are like that too.
Oh yeah.
Instead of sitting in front of a TV or gaming or whatever, you're outside enjoying the weather, enjoying the nature. And it's really cool to be able to create a space outdoors that somebody can enjoy, whether it is just a deck or whether or not you're doing a full patio cover with retractable screens and heaters and a nice TV and a fireplace or something like that, outdoor kitchen like that you can actually fully entertain. That's kind of what we're really going for and gunning for people to get outside and enjoy the space.
Yeah. Yeah. And have you seen that's kind of evolved over the years? I mean, you mentioned like the um, like deck covers, the pergolas, like louver pergolas. I can know on your website you have those. Have you started to see people just really, rather than just a deck or like a patio? I mean, are they more and more people understand like all the cool stuff that's out there, the different things that you can put on a deck or on a patio? I mean, are people getting a little bit more educated and asking for more specific stuff, or are you kind of leaning, pushing them in that direction?
There are, like louver, you mentioned louvered pergolas. Those are very, very popular, and they definitely serve a great purpose. But it's a lot of it too is like when people see it, and most people are visual, right? They want, or they're not visual. They can't see what it's going to look like. Well, that's me. I naturally can see what it is, but to relay that to somebody else is kind of hard. So
Yeah.
we offer a design service in our company so that we sell or we propose a design for them so they can actually visually see it. So when we're doing those, people can actually say, all right, well, what does it look like to have the screens, or what does it look like to have the fireplace in the kitchen? Then once they visually see it, then they're like, oh yeah, that's something I could really want or utilize the space, or they can see themselves in that space entertaining or enjoying it themselves. Um, Not quite sure if that answered your question or not, but
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's kind of one that I've just been thinking about lately, like, louver pergolas, because I'm always looking up keyword searches and how often they're searched. And
right.
it's definitely grown quite a bit, but I'm just curious, like in different parts of the country, if it's kind of growing everywhere or not. But I think,
Yeah, I feel it is, and I feel and it's some of it too is people I think get a little scared about the cost because the cost is
yeah,
it
yeah,
can be substantially high up there. But louvered pergolas is big, and you mentioned different things too. We've really gotten into alternative framing. So instead of traditional wood framing, we do alternative framing. So we work a lot with Newcastle steel, and then there's some other ones out there like Structure has their aluminum frame, Fortress has their steel frame as well. But those are a lot of things that people now, like our clientele, they're they're very educated, right? And they're wanting to find out what the best products are out there. And ideally, if they're going to invest the money into a project like that, which is substantial in cost, they want to make sure they're getting the best for the money
yeah.
that they can get.
Do you see a lot of people looking for that alternative framing or get sold on it, or is it kind of a push if it's I can't remember like the price difference between wood and aluminum or wood and steel. So was curious like with the types of customers that you're selling, are they is it pretty is are a lot of them wanting to go in that direction, or what percentage, I mean ballpark, or people are like really interested in the alternative framing versus
Yeah, I mean it's becoming more and more relevant. I would say right now that probably I would have to say 50% of the jobs that we do for a deck build is going to be steel versus wood. And the reason is basically once they get educated on the difference, if you go building a wood frame deck, that wood frame, even if you tape it and do all the preventative maintenance on those, it's going to last you 10, 15 years is all. When you then you put a composite product on there that's 25 to 50 years, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, your composite's going to be there, your frame underneath is going to go bad. So people are starting to get an education on the benefits of steel or alternative framing in general, and they're making a wise decision because the steel frame might cost you 30%, 40% more than a wood frame in some cases, but you get a 50-year warranty. I mean, it's a lifetime deck.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we offer is a lifetime deck. And that's what we promote and what we advertise. So as people, with internet, well, it's been around for as long as we have now, but they can educate themselves a lot and see that, and they can see the downfalls of wood and the fact that the wood's not what it used to be. So people are going that direction and investing the money into it because they feel it's a wise investment.
Yeah, I guess that's a big piece of it too. The wood that you're putting on these frames are just deteriorating way quicker than they used to. So kind of ends up, and if your framing's going bad, then you got real problems, not just some rotted deck boards or something like that. So
Right.
yeah, interesting. Okay. And it's kind of interesting too. A big like swing that I see is not a swing, but a big difference I see in some contractors are still going after, they still sell more wood than composite. I mean, it's definitely getting more towards composite, especially our clients. It's mostly composite, but there are quite a few that are still just like, nobody really wants it. So I think about that a lot. And I think about, is it the type of customer that's just coming to them based off of, the way they look or their website or what? And I think there is a component to that. And so when you started talking about it and, saying that you're getting a lot of people, 50% want steel or aluminum, that got me thinking about our conversation before here, where you were saying you kind of, I guess differentiate yourselves in certain ways to look like, a more premium company, somebody that does that more, elaborate types jobs, or, not just a basic, square deck with all wood, that kind of thing. So I think that'd be kind of a good segue. I'm just curious, if you could elaborate on that, kind of what you guys are doing to set yourself apart as like maybe a more, and I don't know how you would put it, but in my mind, like a premium type brand. But how you guys set yourself up as that type of company you're really trying to, I guess, portray yourselves to future customers.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, part of what we're trying to do here is offer like high end quality products and a really good experience for our clients from the time that they call in and talk to our director of first impressions and kind of find out if we are going to be a good fit, because we want it not only to be a good fit for them, we want it to be a good fit for us as well, and working with our ideal client. So it starts with a phone call coming in, whether that's through online through our website, which we do have a pretty nice looking website that functions really well. The call in or the request on maybe a social page or something like that, warranting whether or not we come out for a consultation. And then at that point in time, we come out, we take pictures, we take video, we talk to the client about their wants, their needs, their vision, how they're going to use the space. So we really like try to listen and really take notes on what they're going to do with the space, and ideally educate them on what's available to them and what may or may not work in design or functionality in a space based on what they have to work with. And then at that point in time, we'll show them, go through our process with them, because we have a 9-step process from the start to finish of, they can actually see from start to finish how it's going to work with working with Black Label. When we started Black Label a few years back, it was, Black Label is kind of like high end, top shelf. We wanted to give that, no hands on or I don't know if I say white glove experience, but like we just want to make sure you're taken care of. And that's kind of where we set ourselves apart from everybody else. Is I know that what we're doing is a lot different than anybody else around in our market anyhow. And that's what sets us apart.
Gotcha. Do you do anything like if somebody signs on with you, or maybe at the end, like, I don't know, what first thought that came to mind was like a gift, or just, I don't know, anything like that when somebody signs on or at the end, like, have you guys ever worked with or tried anything like that? Just curious.
So yes, actually we do. That's a good question. When we have somebody, so we do every project we do comes with a design. So whether it's a small, smaller deck or roof structure to a big elaborate project, we have a design feature because ideally pulling permits and all of those things, we have to have a CAD drawing that's very detailed. We make sure that we know what we're providing for our clients and they know what they're getting. But that also comes with a 3D rendering. So we have a design and planning agreement, and when somebody comes in to sign our design and planning, they do get a little swag bag. It's a TimberTech heavy bag with what do we got? I'm actually looking at it over here. We've got a grill set that comes with it. We've got an outdoor blanket. We've got some mugs. We've got some black label swag, pins, koozies. It's just kind of a little thank you bag that caters to what you might be using outside. And then that's at the signing of the design and planning, because ideally when someone agrees to the designing and planning with us, that's a pretty much good commitment, that they're going to work with us when it comes down to the project. At the end of the project, we just implemented this here not too long ago, where we'll send out a care package of Omaha steaks.
Nice.
So they will get, based on their kind of the level of investment, they'll have a choice of what they want, and we send them that, and then they get to pick which one they want, and then that's ideally their gift at the end, and then they're outside ideally grilling their new space and enjoying that nice Omaha steaks. So
Nice.
that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I guess I never thought about that. Like when you give the design agreement, they still haven't made a decision. You kind of give them that gift bag to always remember you. And yeah, I
Right.
mean, that's a huge first impression too. It sounds like you're actually giving good stuff, the stuff that they actually want to wear, like grilling. I guess you said grilling, all that stuff was in the bag too. Like
It's got like a little grill kit, so it's got little tongs, little
cool.
Prado thing, baster. I can't remember everything else that's in there, but it's just, I mean, it's a usable little grill kit.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you typically charge for the design fees? Like,
We actually have two different levels of design. We have a 1.0 and a 2.0. So our 1.0 is at $500, and that's literally what it costs us, like for design. And then we have one that's, if our projects, if it's a larger project, bigger scale, like a lot going on, like a bigger roof structure or a louvered pergola, or it's like a whole outdoor space, not just like a deck or just a roof. Those are $1,000 for that design. And
okay.
the thing about them is they're super, like, they actually look very real, and it paints a really good picture of what the project could be, and those are typically the projects that we are signing design and planning agreements on.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty reasonable too. And you give them gifts for both packages or one?
Correct. No, if they commit to a design and planning with us, we everybody gets one.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You said TimberTech stuff. Do they give you stuff to give away for that too?
Well, I wish they'd give it to us. No,
Okay.
so you can get on there, and the TimberTech has their own site, and you can go on there and basically buy stuff. So we are exclusive. We're a platinum installer for TimberTech
Yeah,
AZEC. So we get credits at the end of the year when we turn in our invoices. So we just take that credit money and we buy swag for it to give to our clients.
gotcha. That's cool. Yeah, I think anybody listening that is trying to, I mean, just stand out in that regard. I mean, I feel like that's huge. I mean, just a well put together gift box, something that looks nice and all the gear is nice, and you see that and you get your agreement and that design looks nice. It's like that is a huge way to separate yourself versus the guy that just like, had a really basic design or he just drew it out or whatever the case may be. Like, um, I noticed that with Lance when I first met him, that he does a good job with branding in general. I mean, even when we all got like, we had, dinner and we're dressed up in like, our nicer suits, and he's got his black on black, suit, and we're all wearing white shirts. And when I looked at his website, I was like, yeah, Lance is sticking to the brand.
It's funny you
So
bring that
cool.
up, man. I was at dinner. I was looking around, and I'm literally the only guy with a black shirt on. I kind of felt like the black sheep in the whole group, but it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I had a black shirt, I probably would have worn black on black too, honestly. But I don't dress up too often, being here in my office. But
Right.
no, that's cool. I mean, is there anything, I guess, else that you're doing to I guess, stand out, I mean, maybe it's during the sales process, or anywhere else, I mean, truck wraps, things like that, anything like that that's you've noticed really has made a big difference in kind of help positioning the brand, making you stand out, or, helping you land more projects?
Um, that's a really good question. I know that like when we go to a neighborhood, we're working in a neighborhood, some things that we do that I don't know that many are doing. One thing we hand out is a courtesy door hanger, and the courtesy is saying, "Hey, we're going to be in the neighborhood. If you have a problem with us, trucks, trailers, we accidentally, something flies in your yard, whatever, let us know. We'll take care of it." It's solely for courtesy. It's not for advertisement. Just letting them know who we are and what we're doing there. That's one thing. We also put out instead of yard signs, we do yard flags. So we actually have a big banner flag that's put out in front of the yard at the beginning of the job that stays there through the entire time. So it's a little bit more attractive. Has our QR code on it, so they can scan the QR code. All of our trucks are lettered, and they have QR codes on the back. They're all uniformly lettered. I don't wrap them because we either buy black or white trucks, and that's our background. So we just vinyl them up, but it's
Yeah.
all consistent. I'm really, really big on that. Throughout the project, we worked there. Average jobs actually 8 to 10 days is average. Some jobs take up to 3 to 4 weeks. When we're done, sometimes when we're on the job, depends on how it is, but sometimes for sure when we're done, we also send out mailers. We've started sending out mailers to projects that we're done, whether or not it's what we did in that neighborhood or not. We kind of group specific on letting them know that what we're offering or our services that we offer. And then sometimes we also do that actually during the project, and sometimes we do it before the project to kind of get all those touch points. Afterwards, we're always asking for a review, and we try to get the review from our installers. So we currently run 3 crews, and our guys are promoted to ask for a review from the clients. Right now, I think we're at 85-star reviews, I believe. We're trying to get to 100 here this year, and I don't know, for whatever reason this year's been a little bit slower on reviews, but the guys ask for it and they get a review. They each get paid $50 if their name's mentioned in that review. So that kind of sparks them to ask for the review, and then usually the clients will do it if they're willing and able. So,
Yeah.
but those are kind of the things. That's kind of how it looks like when we're on site. Um, we're big on keeping a clean job site all the time, from the front driveway to where we stack the materials to the backyard. The job's cleaned up every day, meticulously. Just for cleanliness, 2 for safety, 3 for professionalism, and that's just part of our core values as well, as keeping the job site absolutely spotless.
Nice. Yeah, and that review thing, I've mentioned that many times. That's one of the recommendations we give our clients. Like, it's huge if you get one of the guys that's actually doing all the work, and they can see them just like, busting their ass, basically, just like doing the entire job. And if they're the ones that go up and ask for it, they're way more likely to leave that review. I think and I actually never thought of that, but like, asking them to leave the name in the review, I wonder if that would almost help too, to really make it more personalized and trying to help out the guys that actually built it. Because for whatever reason, people don't really care about helping the owners that much. So if you kind of put it that way, they typically don't really care and leave them.
Well, right, and so they have to their name has to be on it in order for them to get it. I mean, we'll have some flexibility in there. It's not completely set in stone, but that way they know that they were recognized for it. So like we have
Yeah.
a meeting today, and I think we're paying out like $300 or $400 in bonuses for reviews. So
Nice.
I guess another thing we do too is on the back end of it. So not only we give that gift of the Omaha Steaks at the end, we also have started. We give our clients the warranty. We basically fill out the warranty information for the clients, so they get a folder at the beginning, which is our uh, client leave behind, which tells them all about our company and our warranties. And we have a, what are we going to call that? We have extended warranties on our installation because we're platinum installers. But at the end of it, we also take that warranty information, we fill it out for the clients, and we give that to them so that they don't have to mess around with it. So any warranty products for, say, Westbury Rail, TimberTech decking, or whatever it is, we give them all that warranty information and fill it out for them so that they just have it, and then we provide it to them in a folder.
Gotcha. Do you pretty much exclusively use TimberTech?
Um, yes and no. I mean, I would say 90% of the jobs that we do, we work with Moisture Shield, we work with decorators. We're big on, I'm big on the installation. Like we push timber, we're in a heavy TimberTech market for one, but their customer service for TimberTech AZEX are really, really good. If we do have issues, which is pretty rare, that's a very, very important thing to me. But we do offer, like, for me, it's about the install. You got to make sure it's installed. You could buy the best product, but if you install it, not to the way it's supposed to be, then it's not a really good product anymore. So somebody could come at us with a different product, and I'm totally up for using it and trying something new if it warrants it. Um, you just got to convince me what we're using, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Do you typically go with the more premier lines from TimberTech? I forget the names of the different tiers that they have, but any preferences on theirs? Which ones you typically like using?
I'm big on trying to promote the lifetime deck. So the lifetime deck includes Newcastle steel with a 50-year warranty on the frame, and AZEK advanced PVC, which also has a 50-year warranty. So at that point in time, they say a 50-year warranty is a lifetime. And so that's what we really push and promote, is that lifetime deck. So we like the advanced PVCs. And in regards to the composites, I mean, it kind of depends on what the client wants. A lot of times we're doing like the borders when two-tone colors. So we're doing mitered edges, maybe a darker border, a lighter color inside for the body. So they have quite a bit to choose from too. I think TimberTech AZEX up to like 40 some colors to choose from. So once again, it's about the installation. If it's installed right, I think it looks good and it functions well. But we're doing mostly two-tone colors, mitered edges, borders, picture frames around the deck to really kind of jazz it up, make it look like a piece of art.
Yeah. Do you ever do those inlays, like any custom designs on the decks, anything like that?
Almost every time. Like
Oh,
we
really?
don't
Cool.
do it. Yeah, we don't do any butt joints. We do all breaker inlays or breaker boards. Typically we do a picture frame on almost everything. Just because it gives it that level of cleanliness, makes it just look a little bit more custom.
Oh my God, yeah. That's a huge difference when you
Yeah.
have those picture frames in there. Okay.
Another thing we started doing this last year too is like we do everything 12 inches on center. So we, instead of going maxing out 16, everything's at 12. So whether that's wood and or steel, we're doing 12-inch on center.
Any particular reason why you do that? I mean,
To me, it's just structurally holds the deck just is more structurally sound. Like if we're building a frame, we're not going to max out, say, a 2x10 or 2x12. Either way, we do it, but because we ideally try to overbuild everything, so there's no question on is it built just to code, or are we actually going above and beyond what code even recommends, and that's kind of what we try to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, a thought crossed my mind, and I guess it's something I think I thought about quite a few times. But do you think with like all the steel frames, the advanced composites, all this 50-year warranty boards, getting away from just wood that needs to be replaced, what do you think? I mean, do you think there's any potential like shrinkage of the outdoor living industry and construction because of that? Because there's just less need if it's just going to last forever? Or do you think it's going to keep evolving because of, how cool the stuff people are manufacturers are creating?
I think in my lifetime, I'm not going to have to worry about that, but that's a really valid point. With the alternative framing and the products that we're making, and they last, 50 so years now, it's like, yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. There's also a lot to be said that people aren't spending that money yet. I mean, gosh, what was it? There was a report from NADRA that I just read a few months back, and just in my Lancaster County, my small little bubble here, there's 48,000 decks that are 15 years of age or older. Well, that's a lot of work. So that I think that was a cap of like, I can't remember how many multiple millions of dollars worth of work that was. But so, like I said, in my lifetime, I'm not worried about that. And I think that people still are doing good frames, and they're still doing that. So I don't think it's going to necessarily hurt it anytime soon, but later on down the road, I think that it might slow some things down, but at the same time, I think there's still going to be a lot of work out there to do. And
Yeah.
outdoor living space is growing
Yeah.
exponentially every year. And
Yeah.
there's no signs of it slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah. I think that's a huge piece of it too. Like if all these like amazing new things keep coming out, like the screens, the louver pergolas, I mean, that's just a couple of them. You know, if that keeps evolving, everybody thinks decks. I mean, most people, I guess, anybody that I can think of thinks an outdoor living space is cool. You know, it's something that people actually want. Like on the fencing side, people don't care as much. It's not, going to get as crazy as a deck. So I guess as long as things keep getting more wild, it's kind of the same thing as a house. You know, people keep updating their house because they want the newer, better thing. And my hope would be that it kind of continues that way too. And I guess ever since COVID, outdoor living as a whole has just skyrocketed. It might have been before that too. I don't know, but I know after COVID, everyone was, spending more time at home. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I love seeing what guys come up with. I mean, sometimes I learn just from when we onboard a client and they're like, we're installing this. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that before, but there's always something new coming out. It seems like, so
For sure.
that,
Yeah.
and this one's, I made a note about this, cause it really got my attention. Something small you mentioned earlier, but I know that a lot of guys put out those signs on the yards, and I always preach that. I've never once heard about the flag idea, so I gotta get a little bit more information on that. Did you come up with that, like putting a flag there, or did somebody tell you about it? Really curious.
I actually came up with my last company that I owned. I actually came up with that idea. I mean, there's a company here called Image Inflators, and they have the big flags, and I'd seen them. They might be outside of a convenience store or something like that, but I just saw it and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And nobody's doing that in somebody's front yard. So that was probably, gosh, man, well over a decade ago that I had came up with that. I didn't see anybody else doing it, and I still haven't seen anybody else in regards to my industry and what we do put them
Yeah,
in. When we started Black Label, we just had regular yard signs, and I kind of had forgot about the flags. And then we were talking about different ideas, and we did the door hanger thing. It sparked that interest again, or that thought again of the flags. So we had the flags made up, and that just happened like 6 months ago. I think we started doing flags again.
that's cool. So what size of the flags? How do they look?
I think that their total height is about 8 feet tall. I think the
Oh,
flag
okay,
itself is like 6 feet, and they're just they just swing. We've got black ones and white ones.
like a
Just
car lot kind of a sign, like one of
yeah,
those. Yeah.
right. So
Okay.
ideally, when you're driving, going down the neighborhood, it's not just a sign in the yard. You're actually seeing it. It's moving around, and it kind of grabs your attention.
Yeah.
One of the next things I know we're going to be doing is we're going to be lettering some of our trailers aren't lettered, but we're actually going to do a wrap on the one side, where the one side is going to be the street side will be an outdoor living space, very bright, very green. It'll have like a patio cover, whatever design, we haven't figured it out yet, but that'll be like what your yard could be. And then on the other side, it'll be just basically company information, black label bill,
Yeah.
and
That's
the,
cool.
the standard, the standard verbiage and text and QR code. So when people are walking by on the sidewalk, then they can see it and snap the QR code.
Nice. I would guess you had a marketing background, Lance. You have some pretty clever ideas.
Thanks, man.
That's pretty
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that flag one's really sticking in my mind. I'm going to start recommending that. Like, yeah, because I mean, I don't know, just something prestigious, more. I guess that looks a lot more prestigious and somebody that thinks outside the box. And yeah, I don't know, somebody.
Yeah, it's different. I always try to be a little bit different well, I'm a little bit different in general, but I always try to do some different things to make us like stand out, or what looks cool, or what can we do to set us apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what do you say? I guess next phases, or next steps with Black Label Built. I mean, where you hoping to take the company? I mean, I guess any new plans, anything like that besides what we've talked about?
Yeah, there's a lot of plans. Yes. Right now I've got Ryan here, who's head of operations. He's our operations specialist, actually. I've got Sean, who's our project manager, and we're running 3 crews. I currently do the sales and marketing. We did just bring on a person to help me do the sales as well, which is starting to go, slowly but surely. But ideally, within the next 2 years, Well, sorry, I guess back up a little bit. Right now we're doing about 2 million in revenue. Well, we should hit about 2.5 this year, which will be our biggest year. We've grown every year since then. Um, Next year we're going to try to increase that to about 3.4 to 3.6 million. And then in 2 years, I would like to be a $6 million company in gross revenue, if not more. um, Doubling the size of our force right now. At that point in time, I'd really like to start kind of just doing a operations from a distance for the company and just kind of helping out as needed, and doing what I'm really good at. Like I'm really good at the systems and setting people up and kind of problem solving. That's like my cup of tea, and that's kind of what I'd like to do full time and step away from the sales. Still have some marketing tie in just because I enjoy it, and that's kind of where I want to go from there. And then ideally, see if my boys want to take it over. I got a 15 and a 19-year-old that are showing some interest in the company. So, and
Nice.
they might want to have a hand in it right now. So we'll see.
Gotcha. You have any like, so you're, I mean, basically, I guess eventually hoping to double or more, I guess more than double,
Correct.
the company. Any specific ideas or plans, how to, make a huge jump like that?
Um, Having the proper systems in place. You and I were talking before here about you guys are doing EOS right now. We were really looking at doing something like that. I really want it to be if I'm going to be backing out of it, not backing out of it, but if I'm going to have other people in the driver's seats, I want to make sure they're the right people for one, and I want to make sure that they're really big on the company culture, to a T, and they live it and breathe it. And because I don't want anything to change, I don't want that experience to change. I do want to grow rapidly, but I want to make sure it's done right. That's really important to me. I don't want people to get stressed out. I don't want clients to have a bad experience. Um, but I also do want to have growth, and I want to see people within the company growing with the company and having a really good buy-in with it, and just pushing Black Label Built in its best of its ability out to everybody. I know that we'll have to have a more marketing presence, and it's something we're working on all the time. And those are more conversations that you and I will need to be having as well, because I know that you guys do a really good job at what you do, and I could take a lot of value in your expertise. But I know that that's going to be a big part of it, and just doing creative things to set us apart from everybody else, and keep on getting the reviews, and keep on providing a great experience for our clients. I think
Yeah.
that'll help out a lot. I mean, word of mouth is the best referral you can get, and that's probably literally about 50% of how we get our business.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you're talking about reviews because that's overlooked by the vast majority of companies. I mean, I would say probably 80, 90% just, just don't take it serious enough. So, I mean, if you already said you got 80, I'm not sure what your competitors have, but I mean, I would imagine you're one of the leaders, if not the leader in that area. But if you're sitting there at 80 and you go to 200 and your competitors are still sitting there at under 50, I mean, that's a huge jump, and it'll also help you expand outward too, because then you start to look like that guy that's, not just in your immediate area, but even further away, and you can kind of push out even farther and push the limits out if you're just clearly like the company that does the best jobs or the most high quality area, and not just the guy, or not just working with the people that are tire kickers or just concerned about price, that kind of thing.
Right.
uh, so, and is that do you typically like those bigger jobs versus the smaller ones?
Honestly, I like a combination of both. I like the projects where the guys, in part of it's, I'm a big visionary guy, right? So I like to see the big projects come to life, start to finish. It's just harder for the crews to stay super focused on the bigger jobs sometimes, because once you're on a job for 2, 3 weeks, it's like, oh, we got to keep going to get pushed through. So I like to have a combination of the jobs that are just kind of medium, smaller to medium, that we can be in and out in 5 to 7, 8 days, and really do a really good job and just kind of be in and out and provide a really good experience. Then I like the big jobs that do go for a longer period of time. They're really good for the portfolio. They have the really dramatic before and after. Really ties in with the beginning design of the whole project, of like, here we have next to nothing, and now we have this awesome space that we get to enjoy. That's what I really like personally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think Lance, I think that's all the questions I had for you. I appreciate you coming on here, and I was excited about it, just from our conversations when I met you, a couple weeks ago. But I think we went into a lot of really good stuff. I like, obviously, marketing is my thing, so just hearing some of the little ideas that you've had and ones I never thought of or even heard of, those little things do matter, and I think I was uh, really great that you could share that, and hopefully help some other builders that are out there listening to this, because even if it seems kind of like really small and it's like, it probably wouldn't help, or I don't, you don't feel like it, or don't know how to make those flags or even the signs, whatever. I mean, spending the time to do that and trying it out and testing it is for sure worth it. I mean, it can mean, you don't spend too much on flags, I would imagine. And if you get one new deck out of it, it probably pays for it for the entirety of the cost of, it doesn't take much to get your money back on that. So, but yeah, Lance, again, appreciate you and coming on here, and going forward with the Fence and Deck Mastery podcast. So we're back on track now. We had a little bit of a lull there with podcasts, but going back to our weekly ones, and been doing some solo podcasts too, just sharing some different marketing stuff. But if you do enjoy the podcast, it'd mean a lot if you can review and subscribe to it. That'll help us in our rankings to get more people in front of it. And if you have any questions about your marketing going forward, and we're getting kind of close to the slower seasons, we're getting close to those, October, around there, where it starts to really slow down. So if you have any questions about your marketing, anything like that, feel free to reach out through our website at deckfencemarketers.com. And yep, that's it, Lance. Appreciate it, man. Hope you have a great rest of the week, and thanks for coming on here.
Hey, thanks, Alex. It's been a pleasure, man. Nice seeing you again.
All right, thanks, Lance.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.